Do trans women belong in women's sports? So this is a highly debated topic that has been all over the news, that's been a big deal, especially starting with a swimmer named Leah Thomas, who's a trans girl who ended up going from being like number 36th or whatever in men's swimming to number 1 in women's swimming. This happening raised the question of, is this really fair? Does she have a biological advantage due to her bone structure and having been through male puberty? This is a highly debated topic that tends to get people pretty opinionated. So let's talk about it. First off, I want to start by saying, yes, I believe that trans women should be in women's sports. Trans women are women. However, it's a deeper issue than that. The biggest problem that people have is that very often trans women who don't go on puberty blockers when they're young will have different changes in their bodies, like different bone developments, different things that give them a biological, physical advantage over cis women. And that is, across the board, on average, that's a very common case. Now, this being said, there are plenty of cis women, like tall, tough European women, or women from across the world, who naturally have an advantage over other cis women. So the solution that I would propose, personally, if I were in charge of it, was similar to how in boxing and wrestling there's different weight classes, like, lightweight, welterweight, heavyweight. A similar system to that in not only women's sports, but all sports. I think that this would not only allow acceptance of trans women, but acceptance of diverse women of all types. Instead of being divided by weight and it being different weight classes, I think looking at things like height, different factors like bone density, also weight, taking all of these factors into, not bone density, bone size, bone structure, taking all of these factors into account and making multiple leagues. And this way you could have a league for tall, tall women with more wider bone structures that give them an advantage, and another league for shorter women. I think that what this would do is it would allow women from all sorts of diverse backgrounds to participate in sports. I'm Mexican, and very often Mexican ladies are shorter than other women. It's very rare. I don't watch much NBA, so let me say that first. But I believe, from what I've seen, it's very rare to see a Mexican girl playing women's basketball, because in general, we are genetically shorter. And so I think by dividing it up into, different size classes, what we would be able to do is allow women of all sorts of diverse backgrounds, heights, everything, to participate in women's sports, which would be so awesome. And I think the same goes for men's sports. In basketball, there are so many men who want to play the sport, but maybe they're shorter than other guys, or they're not built the same, and they just don't get to have their dream because of the way they were born. And at the end of the day, sports should be more inclusive to everyone, in my opinion. And so by doing this, what we'll be able to do is not only include trans women, but include more women from all sorts of diverse backgrounds. And as you can see, and sometimes when American teams go against teams from other countries where women are smaller, in sports like soccer or other sports like that, well, the American teams blow them out of the water because it's just truly not fair. I don't think this is a trans issue. And I think by making it a trans issue, it is just more policing of women's bodies that happens on the parts of men, right? Because it's not only been trans women who are affected by this. And let me know if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe it was an Olympic athlete who was a female runner, cisgender, who was disqualified from the Olympics because she had slightly higher testosterone in her blood than other cis women. And so what this has led to is the men who run this industry policing all women's bodies. At the end of the day, we've got to support women in society, and not just women, but men too. And it should be our prerogative as a people and as a society to make sports more accepting of people of all sorts of different backgrounds. Additionally, this would make sports more of a real career option and opportunity for many, many people. So that's where I stand on this. That's my opinion. I'd be super interested to see what you guys have to say in the comments, your opinions on this. But at the end of the day, I think really the only reason we're debating if trans women should be in women's sports is just old classic sexism. No one's really debating if trans men should be in men's sports. And there's a reason for that. Very often, instead of having a biological advantage in men's sports, trans men tend to have a biological disadvantage. And well, we're not going to complain about anyone who has a disadvantage. But again, so do shorter guys. And taller women and women with larger bone structures have these distinct advantages. And I think what we can do here is we have a perfect opportunity as a society to make sports more fair and inclusive, as well as a more real career opportunity for those who are passionate about them. So that's what I have to say. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. But yeah, I really appreciate you. Love you guys, and I will see you. Oh, someone in the comments said I roasted Mexican girls. I am a Mexican girl, so like, mi amor, I totally did not, Muñequita. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.